Have you ever wondered where you come from? What happened for you to get here? Well, this is the beginning introduction to the universe.
If you are beginning to doubt what I am saying, you are probably hallucinating. Listen carefully.
Well, let me take you to a flaming ball of hydrogen gas we like to call a star. The hydrogen atom, composed of one proton, neutron, and electron, is the first unit of matter. As the star burns up the hydrogen, protons are fused to create helium. This is called nuclear fusion. In this reaction, heat and light is spit out into the universe to provide us with the energy for existence. Hydrogen and helium are considered the first building blocks of the elements, encompassing the majority of our cosmos. But how did they even get there? What is their story? 13.8 billion years ago, a point about the size of a pebble exploded to create the massive beginnings we know with only 1 trillion of a second.
Let's see.
The massive inflation released immense amounts of energy.
What happened?
It was only until the universe went through a cooling period that matter could actually conglomerate into the elements.
Star.
Once the cooling period was over, the first stars started to appear about 400 million years into Earth time. 400 million revolutions around the sun. The stars are responsible for all that we see around us. Low-mass stars, such as our sun, create elements with protons all the way up to iron, the elements that make our bodies. Supergiants, several times the size of our own sun, are thought to create all elements past those through implosion. Once a supergiant's nuclear fuel has run out, the interior condenses to form a small but extremely dense neutron star. The outer layers are bounced off the rigid core of the neutron star and explode out into space, emitting energy and neutrons to be used as ingredients for elements past iron. Every muscle, neuron, blood, and bone cell is built with the materials created through the reactions in these stars. In short, each time your heart thumps in your chest, stardust, the beginning history of the universe, pumps through your veins. The amazing fact is that our universe does not move nonsensically and without reason, and can be mostly explained and predicted through mathematics. Even down to tiny particles, our existence is swayed by the universe's inner rulings. Sir Isaac Newton described there to be 3 basic laws of motion. The first states that every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its state by the action of an external force. The second law explains that acceleration of an object is dependent upon 2 variables, the net force acting upon the object and the mass of the object. In short, force equals mass times acceleration. Last but not least, the third says that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. There are also considered to be 4 basic forces within the universe: strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, gravity, and electromagnetism. The first force, the strong nuclear force, makes it so that atoms are able to clump together. The strong nuclear force, within a specific short distance of the nucleus, makes it possible for multiple protons to stick together despite their repulsive charges. Without it, we wouldn't have the elements. Force was what was able to make our system. The solar system, composed of a star and 8 planets, was nothing but a cold cloud of dust particles swirling through empty space. This cloud was disturbed most possibly by a supernova, and the cloud of gas and dust started to collapse underneath a force known as gravity. It cinched everything together, forming a solar nebula into a huge spinning disk. The center of the disk coalesced into the sun, and the particles in the outer rings condensed to become outer gas giant planets and the inner solid planets. The Earth dwells as part of the inner four. In its first era, the Earth existed in what is known as the Hadean Aeon, the Greek name for Hades, meaning underworld, referring to the condition of the planet at that time. The Earth's surface was under constant bombardment by meteorites and intense volcanism, a site too inhospitable for life. The Earth began to cool from its activity, however, and began developing its own chemical soup. Water formed from asteroids, creating a medium for the first life to spring up. Cyanobacteria began to populate the oceans and provide oxygen for the atmosphere. This is where we start to peek into human history. About 200 million years ago, it is believed the first mammals appeared in the late Triassic period. Science defines chemistry as the study of the identification of the substances in which matter is composed, the investigation of their properties, and the ways in which they interact, combine, and change, and the use of these processes to form new substances. Chemistry plays a big part in our evolution, chemical reactions being the fuel for our fleshy machines to operate on. We run off of our own chemical soup, deriving the energy and materials from around us. We communicate through chemicals, creating the social fabric that ensures our survival. For instance, bonding relationships is due to the main chemical oxytocin, a molecule composed of 43 carbon, 66 hydrogen, 12 nitrogen, 12 oxygen, and 2 sulfur. When electrical activity stimulates neurons in the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland secretes the hormone, causing mental attachment each time someone kisses their partner or breastfeeds their baby. Chemical nature is the reason that we survive as social creatures. So far, in the present, humans are just now beginning to understand their complex surroundings. We're able to only see 4% of what is actually there because of dark matter and energy. Energy, force, and matter are the 3 kings that mysteriously rule over, constantly transforming, molding, and creating. We are but one piece of evidence of its wonders. Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and calcium all brilliant and spun together to become a part of the story we call the cosmos. This is the intro to the universe.
If you are viewing this film, then we are under extraterrestrial attack. Beware. Your brain may no longer be the boss. If you are beginning to doubt